Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. I got another one. This is number two in the series of white paper reviews. We're going to do a series of seven of newer slash games that are either going to be launching here soon or have recently launched. Again, these are normally smaller games. Trying to get some awareness out there about them. They are my honest opinion as I go through the white papers. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. So today we will go ahead and review the Lost Sailors game. Before we dive into the Lost Sailors game, I want to go ahead and do the disclaimer. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. From my personal experience, please do not take this as the gospel, as in do your own research before you invest into any of the games that I talk about on this channel. Make sure you do your own research, come up with your own opinions, and make your own decisions. Sorry to get that out there, but I feel like I got to say it every time. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this. Again, full transparency, I have Lost Sailors is not necessarily new to me or new to the channel. I did a couple videos about them about a month and a half ago. I was involved in the ship sale that happened in early January. I've learned a lot more since that time frame, and there's still a lot of questions out there or that we're waiting for the dev team to let us know about. But as far as the specifics, um, right now they are targeting to launch this at the end of February, so that gives them about a little over a week. Um, they are in the last phase of the testing. They've been transparent with that they are testing it. They did run into one issue during the testing. It's a relatively major issue with the in-game store. So they are working through that. They have not provided any updates in the last, I would say, maybe week on how that testing is going. So hopefully we'll get some good news here shortly. Um, the one other thing is prior to the game launch, they are looking to do a captain sale. So there is still one more main sale that's going to happen for this game. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. Let's go ahead and dive into the white papers. This is the this is the website here, lostsailors.cards. You can get to the white paper by the right here. I already have it open, so let's go ahead and dive into it. As the name mentions, it's a sailing NFT-based game for the Wax blockchain, about focusing on four different types of captains and ships. Two are pirates, two are explorers, and there's going to be several different stages or phases of the game. You'll be able to do P versus E, um, and then you'll also be able to do P versus P, basically get your own fleet of ships and go ahead and attack other fleets of ships to try and get the booty. Um, Going through the details here, the roadmap, a lot of this roadmap has already been completed. Right here we are. The ship collection was released in early January. Captain's collection should be released here in the near future, prior to the game launch, and then the tokens will probably be right around the same time that the game is launched. And it looks like the early phases of the gameplay will be PvE. They have mentioned a number of times in the Discord that P versus P is going to be part of the game. I just don't know if it's going to be available day one. I'm assuming day one is going to be stake your NFTs, send them out on missions, and start earning coin as they continue to develop and build the game out. Um, as far as the NFT goes, there are several NFTs in the game. The two main things that you need, at least I'm assuming day one, is going to be the ships, which have already gone on sale and are currently on the secondary market. So you can go ahead and grab ships now. They have four different rarities, soon to be five. We have the cog, which is the lowest rarity, all the way up through the gallons, which is I would consider their legendary rarity. They will also add an additional rarity down the road, which is the ownerships, which I'm assuming is their mythic level. They haven't provided a lot of the details around what you need to do in order to get that. The only details that they've really provided is the fact that you need to get to a certain point in the game. I don't know if it's levels or get certain achievements. plus you need to have 4 gallons of the same type in order to do that blending down the road. Again, no details have really surfaced other than that. There's We'll get to the coin here in a second. The other type of NFTs that you need in order to start the game are captains. These, again, have not been released yet, but they have been providing some sneak peeks out on the Discord. They also have the 4 different rarities, and the rarities for them differ from basically this is one of the captains from when they're young, and it goes through the transition as they go up. And actually, it looks like there may only be 3 rarities for those. And I apologize for the scrolling. So it's actually, this one has 4. I'm not sure why the one was missing. So they're going through as we get closer to launch and showing you clips of what the captains are going to look like. So you can go out there and get a sneak peek at some of the backstory. The link to the Discord will be in the description below. But those are the main things. And in addition to that, you need supplies in order to go out on missions. The supplies will be available in game for purchase in game. They range from everything from food all the way up to cannonballs, basically any supply that you need. The longer the mission, the longer the time frame, the more supply that you actually need to do. And that's similar to a lot of other games out there. They're just packaging it a little bit different. They're pulling in partners, other games, where they can rename them and do some neat things, unique things with them. So keep an eye out for those once the game actually launches. I wanted to scroll back up here to the whitelisting for the sales, and also used for blending are these coins. And here's the example of the coin here. This is essentially what it looks like. There are 2 different variants of this coin. There is the new one, which is nice and shiny, and there's one that is used. The used is a more of a dull gold. If you're not familiar enough with the game, it can be easy to mistake between the 2. Um, the new one, the shiny one, is used as a whitelist specifically for the captain sale that's coming up. It gives you a whitelist and also gives you a slight discount on the packs that will be coming up. So if you don't have one already, it might be worth going out there and finding one. They are going relatively cheap now. When I bought this, it was in the 90 wax range, and this was right before the ship sale. Um, the captain one, it may go up in price a little bit once they announce the captain sale, but for right now it's really cheap. And then you can go ahead and take this and use it as a blending item. Um, you can essentially blend for example, 4 cogs. You can blend into the Carvel, and 4 Carvels into the next level, and then for the next level into the next level. So that's how you do the blending. But in order to get to the gallon, you need 4 of the corrects. And I apologize, I probably pronounced that wrong. 4 of those plus 1 of the coins, whether it's the new coin or it's the used coin. The used coin you can only do 1 blend, basically. But the new coin, if you blend it, and it'll probably go into more detail, there's a small chance that you'll get the new coin back, and there's a big chance that you'll get the used coin. So worst case, if you use the new coin, you can actually use it for 2 blends, potentially more. All right, so let's keep going down the white papers here. And I skipped right into it. This is the blending as they're using the examples, basically 4 of these blend into this. But if you want to do to the gallon, as I mentioned, it's 4 of these plus this coin, and you have a chance of getting a low chance of getting the coin back new, or a high chance of getting a used one. But if you use the used one, you lose the coin. So that's essentially what I just went through. Scrolling down the whitelist, as I already mentioned, the coin gives you a whitelist and a discount. Continents, these are the different continents that you can travel from. As you can see, there's basically where you're departing from, and depending on where you're going to will determine how many supplies and food stock you need, the difficulty, the distance it'll take, or the length of the quest it'll be. So your starting point will determine basically how everything else goes when you go out on these missions. Again, not a lot of the gameplay details have been provided. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Let's keep scrolling through here. Earnings, you can go through the formulas. Once the game actually launches, I'll go ahead and do a gameplay video that actually shows you this instead of trying to dig you through calculations, which I'm sure I'm losing a bunch of you just pulling this page up. So there will be uh, XP, like I mentioned. There's your captains are going to get experience, and I think overall count is going to get experience. And then you're going to get rewards as you're going through. This is the in-game market that I had mentioned. There's going to be partnerships that will allow them to do special types of items in there, which is a unique thing for this game, which is pretty neat. And this is the overall game cycle that they have going through. There's going to be the ports, and there'll be port owners. So when we did the ship packs and also with the captain packs, you have a very, very, very small chance of getting a gold coin, which is different than the coins I just showed you. And if you get those gold coins, you have the ability to either own a port outright or own a portion of the port. And that also goes in account with the ownership, that fifth tier of ships that I talked about before. Um, Also gives you an ownership of the ports. So with the ports, you get additional. It's like owning a land. And most other games, you get a portion of the rewards from the people that dock in your port. And here's the player cards that we had talked about, where you go out on missions, you get rewards, you got to buy supplies, and this is the partnership, the supplies, and this the in-game market that connects all three of the sections. All right, scrolling down the tokenomics. This is a very important thing as far as the balloons, which is going to be the main uh, token in the game. I'm curious to see if they're going to add any additional tokens down the road. I usually hesitate with one token games. The burning factor isn't always the greatest, but I'm curious to see how they go through that. Um, the game rewards, which is the treasures, and the rewards that you'll get from the game. It's basically that they're trying to set it up for the longevity of the game with a 5-year plan. So you can't just burn through all the tokens right away, and 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 they lose value super fast. They're trying to spread out over a 5-year time frame, again for the longevity. And this is the part that kind of gets me, not necessarily the staking, but the gameplay. We are potentially about a little more than a week away from when they're considering the initial target for the gameplay launch. And the fact that there's no details yet in the actual white papers, and anytime that anyone asks about the gameplay actually in the Discord, the question's really ignored, which is unfortunate. I was hoping by this point in time they'd provide more details. I understand that they don't want to announce too much because they don't want, I mean, they're still in the testing phases, so things could change. I get that, but provided some details. Really, the only details that we've learned and from probing in the Discord is P versus P versus E will be one ship. You can only use one ship as far as that goes. And then P versus P, you can create fleets, but you can only use gallons, and they can only be the same types. So if you have all 4-gallon ships, you can only use one of those types. You can't use all 4 in one fleet. Uh, so what I've done is as I mentioned, I was part of the pack sales earlier, and I went through the process of obviously opening my packs. And I've gone through and I've blended all of them into as many gallons as I can get. And as you can see, I have all 4 different types. I have not decided which ones I'm going to focus on because I want to see the actual gameplay and how it goes before I make that decision. But it essentially doesn't make sense to hold all 4 types of ships, at least from the information that we're getting. Uh, Essentially, you want to focus on 1 or 2 different types because my guess is that you're going to want a pirate ship for the P versus P, and the 2 pirate ships is this one, the Queen Anne, and this one, which is the Faith. Those are the pirates. So I'm assuming I'm going to stick with one type of these. And then I'm also guessing from the PvE standpoint, I'm going to want either the La Santa Maria or the Victoria, but you can only use one of those. At least that's the description that we're getting. That's really all the details that we get, and that's if I had one gripe with the development team, that would be it. They're not very transparent. It's that simple. Again, we are a week away from it, and unfortunately, they're losing a lot of players because they're not providing any details. And I'm hoping that changes. I'm hoping once they finish the testing, that they'll be a lot more transparent and more open in the forums. Uh, but that just, again, I wanted to give everybody my honest opinion of what I'm seeing from the game. And this one, Los Sailors is a little more unique because I've been on the Discord for 2 months now. So I want to provide the information that I've received and what I've seen in my personal gut feeling. I'm going to continue to move forward as far as the captain sale goes. I want to do the testing. I want to do the gameplay. I will jump in once it's available. So I'll provide all the gameplay details, but I wanted to give you all my opinion going forth. And if you jump in the Discord, you can see it. Uh, as far as the questions that are going around, and this is the Discord here, you get a lot of people asking the same thing. Like I asked this, and you can see I asked this as far as when are you going to start providing the update of the gameplay, and a lot of people were asking the same questions, um, and not really getting a response. They respond to other questions. They are in the Discord, so they're not completely ignoring us. They're just for some reason not giving us any details around the gameplay. All right. I hope you all enjoyed this. Again, it went longer than I expected it to. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you later. Tomorrow we'll go ahead and do another white paper review. Thank you, and have a great day.